When is the last time you looked in the mirror and thought, damn, I look good? If you are like me, either nearing or in the second half of your life, you're in that perimenopause, menopause stage plus, right? You probably grew up with that culture. I apologize, my camera got all blurry. You were probably raised in that culture that like thin is in. I can think of my, just magazines and TV, like celebrities, right? Skinny was the goal. If your diet, your exercising was all about cutting calories and being as thin as possible. And it's all just pushing, right? Kind of pushing, forcing your body. And what I want to suggest to you today is that it doesn't have to be that way. We can actually work with our body and it work a whole lot better for us. And I want to talk about how that can happen today. And hopefully my camera will clear up. But if we haven't met yet, my name is Lori Aikman. I am a nurse practitioner and I am the host of Her Genetic Edge right here on Substack. So welcome. Thank you for being here. If you're watching this, if you're catching the replay. But what I want to help you do today is if you find yourself kind of caught in that mentality, if you were just indoctrinated that way, I just think of how much our culture, we are just told, especially again, if you are 40 at plus, to just be skinny, be small, and we're pushing our body and even working against it. So what I'd like to suggest to you today and what I'd like to help you shift from is from pushing your body to what I would call leading your body. So quickly, I work with women by looking at their genetics and helping them to see where their genetics are causing bottlenecks, causing vulnerabilities, susceptibilities, and then helping them to align their strategy, their diet, their exercise, everything they do with their genetics. And we can literally go from pushing and sometimes even working against our body to working with it. And I want to share with you why this came up was a client I worked with yesterday. So I wanted to quickly tell you her story. So this was a woman, she's 61, and probably like many of you, she's been really successful. She started off in the corporate world earlier in her career, still works there some, but is kind of transferred over to entrepreneurship. But pushing, hustling, working really hard is how she's gotten successful. She, even when it comes to athletics, she's always been really athletic and she's used to hiking and cycling and more extreme exercise, even at times. And that's, again, how she's been successful is by pushing and hustling and getting to that level of success where she's at. The problem is she has hit a cap, and some of you may be hitting that cap as well, where all of that, what used to work for me is no longer working. And you're hitting that ceiling, you're hitting that cap. And where I see that show up, especially if you're a high-performing female leader, is it showing up in your energy. You don't have the energy to do everything you need to do or to do everything you want to do. It's showing up in your mental capacity. You can't focus. You can't complete tasks like you used to, right? And it's showing up in even just your emotional, whether it's mood swings or things like that. And so that's what happened for her. She's at a place where her energy is keeping her from being able to do what she needs to do. She can get a couple hours of work done in the morning, and then she's got to take a nap because her brain is fried. She's emotionally tired and she's also mentally drained. And this is such a shift for her because she's been used to pushing. She's been used to being able to operate at a high level and get a lot of stuff done, and it's not working anymore. So some of you could like heart in the chat or something like that if you can relate with where she's at. So she's been really good at pushing, but here's what happened with her cap. The past 6 years or so, she's been having some health problems pop up. she has been had recurrent infections where her immune system just can't fight things off, and she's getting sick. She's also getting injured more easily. This has led to surgeries, and some of those surgeries have had to be redone, and she's having more surgeries. And it's just felt like this, it's kind of compounded for her over the past couple years. And it would be easy to think she just got dealt like a bad, she got the bad hand when the cards were dealt out, right? It might seem like this is just random, but what happened is when we looked at her genetics, we were able to see a couple key things. We were able to see that her body has a significantly reduced ability to clear toxins. So there's some genes that control these enzymes that help your body clear out toxins. So her body's ability to detox is significantly reduced. Somebody said what? Maybe I'm not sure what your question is. It just says what, if you want to pop that in. So her body's ability to detox is really decreased. What has also happened is that she has oxidative stress. She's got free radical damage in her body. And the way I always like to equate that is she's got rust, right? If we look at when metal oxidizes, it rusts, the same thing happens in our bodies. So we've got compounding. Her body can't remove toxins. She can't fight off viruses and bacteria. So these infections that she's been having from that poor detox, it's then damaging her or creating this free radical damage, which is then hurting her cells. So when your cells have something called mitochondria, it makes our energy. That's literally where oxides are problems. There you go. You're on top of it. So her body now, her cells are not working efficiently. So she's exhausted, even though she's getting good sleep at night, right? Some of the things we talked about, she can't focus and get things done like she used to. This is where her body is being capped. And what's happening now is, again, she's gone from pushing to, okay, I'm hitting this cap. And we went through this, and I might be talking more to the ladies with this part of the conversation. We went through this, and I showed her, okay, your body has this problem where we can't detox. We can't remove toxins like we used to. And or she can't remove toxins. It's been that way her whole life because it's literally in her genetics, in her DNA. And I went through and I said, okay, these are some ways that we can eat. These are some things that you can bring into your diet that actually will help your body detox better. We actually need to maybe not eat quite as much protein because your body might have a little bit harder time with it. And in classic female fashion, because this is the way we are, like, it's ingrained in our heads. That was at our first visit. Yay, my screen is finally cleared up. At our second visit, when we came back and we sat down and talked through it, she said, I tried tracking my food and I just can't keep up with it. And it just literally blew my mind because it was like we were talking two different languages. I'm going, this is how your system is in dysfunction right now. It's not operating efficiently. And this is why symptoms are showing up in your body. And she took that as, okay, here's the old programming of how do I push? How do I push? Here, now I'm going to track my food. I'm going to diet. I'm going to eat all these things. I joined a gym, right? And it just was such a picture to me of how women that's how we're taught. That's how we were taught. Maybe the younger generations, hopefully not so much, but I know for many of us, if you're in that perimenopause, menopause stage and on, you probably got that somewhere along the line of, okay, we're going to diet, we're going to cut, we're going to restrict, we're going to push. And what I had to do was take a step back and go, okay, we need to take weight loss and dieting and whatever else you're thinking you need to do off the table. You're like, the drain is clogged in your body, and that's causing all the problems that are showing up. And we've got to help your body unclog the drain. So we can even just take all of that dieting, BS off the table. Oh, and my screen just went blank. Hopefully I'm still on. I think my screen just timed out. But again, it was just such a stark picture to me of, for us women, how we are programmed to just push. But we hit that cap where we just can't go any further. Maybe you're listening to this, you're resonating with this, you're going, that's me. I used to be able to perform, to push, to hustle, and now I'm getting capped out. I can't go any further, right? We've got to change our strategy. And what I'd like to suggest to you is you got to go from, again, that pushing, that hustle, that forcing your body, to figuring out how your body is wired, how your body is designed. And then let's see, okay, where are the bottlenecks? Where are the susceptibilities? And let's work from there. Because frankly, if we're doing any other strategy, like I'm seeing somebody put, some peptides in the comments, like those are all great. But my way to go is, okay, what does your body actually need when we actually look at your genetics and how your body's designed? And then let's bring in things like peptides. Let's bring in other nutrients that are going to help your body specifically. So thank you guys so much for being here and for listening. Those of you that are listening live, or you could comment replay if you're watching the replay. And what I'd love to invite you to do, especially if you are a high performing female leader, if you're hitting a cap on your capacity, your mental capacity, emotional capacity, energetic capacity, where you cannot perform at the level that you need to, and your strategy's got to change, I'd invite you to just subscribe to Her Genetic Edge here on Substack, so that you can get notifications when we have more things coming out, podcast episodes and other trainings. And I will see you here again on Substack. Thanks so much, and happy Friday.